Um, so we got one more song here, and then what's gonna happen is like I'm just gonna read the local calendar, um, which is gonna happen right now. So
The
stand
local
by.
calendar.
Butter Boys, local music from Butter Boys here. We also had Karate Chop, Silence, and Alien Book Club,
Yeah.
three of the best band names in town. Although Karate Chop, Silence, they are a Driftless area band. They also have Karate Camp coming up. Speaking of shows coming up, let's talk about things happening this week and beyond. Tonight, Holy Hannah Vanderhoff was on the show last week when I was in quarantine, and she is at the Astor for the rest of the month. Tonight is Maya Elena at the Astor Cafe. Also tonight, Fractal Geometry at the Red Sea. This is a glitch, an electro. Well, it's hard to pin this night down. You just gotta have to experience it. But the lineups are killer every month, and it's at the Red Sea, and it's happening tonight. Thursday, Bethany Larson, Faith Boblet at Ice House. We also have the Minnesota Musicians Concert Series featuring Diane, Cindy Lawson, Junior Choir at Hook and Ladder. We also have it's Brenda's birthday. Big Trouble is going to be at the White Squirrel. We all know Brenda. Happy birthday, Brenda. It is not at the Amsterdam. It is at the White Squirrel with Big Trouble. And DJ Tim. The Unnamed, The Slow Death, Partial Traces, High Tiny Hairs, Tragic Hands at the Eagles Club. That's all on Thursday. Friday, Freak, Lena Elizabeth, Lydia Liza at Ice House. We also have Dury at the Shell stage at the State Fair. Yes, it is time for the State Fair. We also have this weekend the Galactic Get Down. I feel like I should just finish this calendar and let Smokin Joe himself talk about the Galactic Get Down because if you're just tuning in, this is Desert Islands, the show where I make mixtapes based on my guests, 10 records they bring to a desert island, and this is the Galactic Get Down mixtape. If you like what you hear, every one of these artists is playing this weekend. So let me finish this thing before my ADD brain gets carried away. Saturday, also Galactic Get Down. But Jillian Ray will be at the Shell stage for the State Fair. Also, Early Eyes, Denim, Products, and Butter Boys. Butter Boys is also playing the Get Down. 7th Street Entry on Saturday. Mae Simpson, Karate Chop Silence, another Get Down band. And the Shackletons at Hook and Ladder. So a lot of these bands are making the rounds. And then Sunday, New Standards at the Hewing Hotel Rooftop. Think I missed something, or you just want to hear me mispronounce your band name on the air, email it to desertislandkfai@gmail.com, preferably before Tuesday. I do check that email address the most, but sometimes I will see things in my DMs that are, it's not that I'm ignoring you, it's just the show passed and so did your event, and well, you know how it goes. But, okay, so this weekend is the Galactic Get Down. And so I wanted to highlight this year because you have done something with this festival that few festivals ever get to. Because at any time a friend, well, you know how it goes, where you're sitting around after a show and all the bands are just like, you know what we should do? We should start our own festival. It's just like, okay, uh, in order to start your own festival, you need to survive 5 years. You can do that, you might got something, and you are on year 6. That is huge. That is like that's the hump you got to get over, and you're over it. And and this year you've combined with Space Monkey Mafia on curation.
Oh yeah. And it's hard. Is this the 6th year? I don't know. I mean, like,
What is
I
time?
don't know. Did we have to reset because of COVID? As everything different
I don't
now.
know. I
The
think,
brand name's there. But yeah, luckily for us, we have wonderful friends. I mean, I've been working with Space Monkey Mafia for years, like 5 years, booking and managing them. I found them. They're an amazing band that just really didn't understand or know the business. And I was like, well, Dead Larry just stopped touring, so I need something to do. So I did that. And putting on a festival. I mean, I'd done a few before, and then one other organizer, Jess, she had done, Valhalla a few times, and we just wanted to make an alternative to all the festivals we went to. Like, we didn't want any sort of like dogma. We didn't want to be like telling people how to live. We just want to have a nice party and help people and the music we love continue on. And for Dead Larry not touring, it's nice to have the event because we stay relevant. We get to bring all our people together. We've been around for 18 years, so it's like
Once you get to 18 years, I think you've earned like, hey, we got this gig. I mean that's hard to do.
Yeah, and, really hard to do. People are like, "Oh, you don't tour it anymore." It's like we toured for 12 years straight.
Yeah, yeah. With like, come on, give us a break here.
Sorry if you missed it. Like, I mean, I was 17.
We'll come to the Get Down if you
Get Down. And Joe Barron of Space Monkey Mafia. I taught him everything I knew, booking and management and all that stuff. Just how to the lingo and just how to go about it. And honestly, he has surpassed my ability.
Joe's a really nice guy.
He connects with artists. He understands what they're doing, and he puts them in the right positions to succeed. I'm not saying I'm bad at it by any means, but he has some sort of special vision. So over the last couple of years, given the George Floyd riots, the Me Too movement, all these things, as a white dude with a guitar, I was like, well, we got that covered. Let's see what else is out there. Let's try and find the artists that we love that are kind of outside of our normal scene. So we spent the last couple of years, kind of just getting to know bands. We didn't want to tokenize anybody, but finding the right bands to create a diverse lineup for representation and to really just kind of make a statement without having to say anything on stage. Like, this is by our lineup and by the work that Joe Barron's done. It's like, it's pretty incredible. I mean, I'm very proud of it. You don't really know what more you could do until you start doing more.
Well, the work is never done, and it's also one of those things I really appreciated about the lineup on this festival is like you've been showing, not telling.
Right.
And for the last couple of years,
over-deliver, undersell, over-deliver.
And not only in just matters of representation, but like I really enjoy the fact that I think a lot of festivals, and I get it because you kind of have to give an elevator pitch, so a lot of festivals are kind of genre specific. This one has everything, and I really like events that mix and match, and kind of sometimes I feel like scenes can become kind of like TV dinners where it's like, oh yeah, we've got everything, but if the peas get in this, I don't.
Yeah, this is just for people that love questionable meat.
You can hold it down in Austin by the Spam Museum maybe one year.
It's honestly, like I feel like while I feel like we didn't do this, I think intentionally we just wanted to throw a rock festival. No one needs. I mean, God bless all the bluegrass festivals, all the EDM festivals. They got that covered. Nobody needs another. They don't need me to have another one.
You don't need me on that wall.
And when we started, I think that was kind of like the idea is that there's this great representation, but this like rock music, it's always corporate events. There's never been like this, crossover. Plus, we're nerds, and it's a space festival. I'm literally like one of the like when John Marin, original founder and organizer that we work with, and his wife Crystal, who's also works with us, and then Jess Seahorses. When they came to me saying they wanted to put on a festival and Dead Larry to be the band, I was like, cool. One thing, it has to be a space festival. Because I want 3 days where everyone joins me as I do every day, just thinking about space, talking about space, being a nerd. So like, it's like look it up, be like, isn't it cool? Like, just take a second, everyone take the 3 days and be like, let's get spacey. Like, let's talk about the universe a bit. And it's been really good. And honestly, like the James Webb Telescope, all the escapism, like you couldn't ask for better promotion. Like
no, and I do like seeing the pictures of people's outfits on Facebook. Like some people go all out, which is the fun part of the festival scene.
It's easy with the theme, it's like it's like there's so much space stuff. I can't tell you how many shirts I have that are space related. Like, I mean, you tell somebody something you like, and I mean, it's wild, but it's really good. You know, I'm really proud of our team. I wasn't sure if it was ever going to happen again.
I think a lot of people were feeling that after the last. Well, my friend Whitney Streeter, she refers to the last 2 years as these lost 2 years. Just
right. Right. There's the before times and the after times, and then there's that bit in the middle that I became really popular for something I didn't really care about doing. I was really happy because last time I was on here, I was talking about live stream cover challenge, and it was always really funny, like how recognized and like awarded I was for this thing. I'm not a cover guy. I made
all that like hit at the right time.
Right.
It was
I just wanted to make a space for people to create. and like, and you know, then everybody else did amazing work, and I really I loved what I did, but that's not ever my plan. I'm a songwriter. I write dozens of songs, you know, a year, if not more than that. It's like so, but me playing, you know, the Seagull Stop It Now was like my
I feel like it only happens when you're either not thinking about it or it doesn't matter. Right. Like I remember seeing Jeremy Messersmith years ago, and he was doing like a really intimate like songwriter storyteller show. And he was just like, well, if I have one song that's destined not to be a hit, it's this one. And then it was the Twin Sons of Tatooine, which happened to be like, it went viral the next week.
What a name. Yeah.
It's just about like this, you know, gentle song about growing up on
Tatooine.
And yeah. Well,
Tatooine is a terrible place to live. I don't know.
It's
dry, it's desolate. There's always sun, you know, I mean.
You will never find a more vile hub of scum and villainy than Tatooine.
I'm constantly working. I'm literally like putting the things.
If you are not on our chat right now, Joe is actually making like all the lanyards for talent and crew for this weekend. And by the way, follow us.
I designed it and I'm stuffing them. Like I do it all. I don't.
It's like I remember like hand making CDs. It feels a lot like that.
Like folding it up.
Yeah. So by the way, if you can't see that, I know some people don't play along at home. We are live on Facebook and Twitch and YouTube. You can follow us there as well. Please don't do both while you're driving. The video gets archived. You can watch it later.
Listen, I didn't pretty myself up at all. Like this is pre-preparation. My room is a mess. You're good.
You got stuff to do. But so I know we touched on the live stream cover challenge, but let's actually get back to your music here.
Yes.
Here is Dead Larry here on KFAI, Desert Islands.
Do they hear me right now?
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Perfect.
Can you hear me without your headphones on?
Yeah. So I got this like little monitor set up, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, my like closet studio, my closet office studio room is kind of almost together. Like, you know, I'm getting there.
I'm in the middle of a move, which is like just all encompassing. It's like
moving sucks.
It always takes more than you think, and like every time I do it, I'm just like, no, this is the one where I get out ahead of it. This is the one where, and it never is, because like
this stuff.
Yeah, like I was in the middle of so much stuff, and like I'm still trying to finish mixing this thing because it's finally done recording, but like now I'm in that stage where it's like, oh, camera 1 or camera 2? Do I like this?
Right, I have a camera there.
3. And then and it's just, so that's a never-ending process of like, do I want it stripped down or do I over mix this thing into infinity?
Right.
But then I got COVID, so now like everything is just, I gotta get out of, I gotta get out. I gotta move. And just that is my life right now.
I got out of Uptown, and that changed my life. I didn't realize, you know, because I moved there when I was drinking. I had since like quit drinking.
Yeah.
My behavior changed so much, and I didn't even realize just how much driving in Uptown was stressing me out every day. Like,
so I'm currently Lindale, but like that whole region, and everything's under construction. And you're absolutely right. Like driving in Uptown stresses me out, whereas like driving in other parts of the city does not.
I mean, it's normal stress, like city stress. Like, you know, if you pick the wrong time, it'll be kind of hard. But like Uptown is like constantly, and then they finally kind of made Lindale's better now over by Franklin. Like you can now turn left into the wedge. Like
I think the only problem is that part of town. This city outgrew that plan.
It's taking so long to do anything like that.
Yeah, and by the time they get it done, it's already outgrown that. Like there's just too much
minimum wage
happening. Exactly. So it's just like, so I too am getting out of that part of town.
Unless you're young and partying and going to CC club and shit, like there's no point.
now.
It's
Like
so expensive. Like,
I'm at the age where I feel like it's just like I have one activity a day.
yeah,
like I'm focusing on this.
Yeah, I focus on like, if it's not my work, like right now, it's like this is like the maximum amount of
like
things I have. But normally, I just like go to yoga. I work on my music. I play shows or whatever. And I needed to be able to be loud. I needed to be able to bring gear in and out. Like living in an apartment was just the worst. Like,
no, it's not conducive to it.
I love the apartment. I love the area at the time, but happy memories. Don't want to go back.
I totally get that. I'm surprised you're still in town because we're like this year the festival site is in Wisconsin.
It is, yeah, barely. It's right on the edge of Somerset and New Richmond, so it's like 10 minutes over the border. Closest gas station is a Quick Trip, by the way, so that's pretty tight.
Oh, there you go.
The cell service is amazing. Like it's not in the middle of nowhere, which is our first time. So I'm excited to see like what happens when people can snap their friends and like send stuff and post things during the festival, because before it was just like blackout media, because
which can have its advantages, but I do think there is something to be said for creating a space and letting people use it for whatever they want, and not really kind of like just whatever people come up with and how they have fun and how
that's
they
a festival
kind of exactly
we set it up in our minds like, okay, here's this thing and that thing, but like we don't get to do that stuff. Like we just hope it happens, you know what I mean? We're gonna set this thing up and people can explore this, it'll be crazy, they'll find it'll be crazy. It's like, but I'm never gonna see that happen. It's like you don't get to go to your own festival in the same way you don't get to see your own show. Like
it's why I appreciate people who take pictures, because there is something where it's just like, because otherwise it all goes down the memory hole.
Right. I was like, I didn't know that happened at all. Like I was working. So like, I didn't know there was this crazy moment with the whatever bubbles or something crazy.
Oh yeah. It takes people who are like kind of in that moment going like, oh, all this is coming together and I need to capture it. I need to freeze this in time. And it's like from their perspective and like something that moved them.
Right. And being close to the city. And having the ability to have people promote from on their own or like, say that they're having fun. We're selling day passes every day. So it's like, this is our first time doing that. So it's like 40 minutes from the city. You can go for just a day. Camping isn't included in the concert ticket, but it's only like $15 a day. So like you can just kind of go out when you can and then go home. Like it's not 2.5 hours away. You don't have to plan for an excursion.
The other location 2.5 hours away, or
it was Outback Ranch, where it was down by Winona, like past Winona, in like the hills.
Right,
it was crazy. So while it was awesome, like you couldn't really introduce city people to the festival that way. It was like, no one's gonna like dip their toe in if they have to drive 2.5 hours.
It's tough. It's tough. Like I feel like I'm amazed that like just seeing Midwest Music Fest grow, because like that's been around for like more than 10 years.
I love those people. I never have played it, but that doesn't stop my love. like I would love to play it. That'd be great. But like, a lot of our artists do, and
well, like a lot of the Driftless bands you have, like they kind of have been like OGs, like kind of just doing that, and it's like that whole area too, because there's like Driftless Music Gardens down there, which is like
Driftless Music Gardens. You got the Tree Dome people, you got the No Name Bar down there. I mean, like honestly, and then I think it was Tree Dome. I don't want to misspeak, but like they did has Thesis in Rochester now. So like
well, they got a storefront in Rochester.
It's like Oasis in Rochester, which no offense, Rochester was not much going on before. Like
okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because I have been playing Rochester more and more the last few years, and people were like, why are you going to Rochester? I'm just like, it's not what it was anymore.
No,
it's
it was
now.
I used to play it too at a bar I will not name that, they sure did give us lots of drinks, but it was not financially a good time. And I mean, you had to play for 16 hours. But and as an up and coming band, you just do it. But like, I'm as far as the greater Midwest goes, due's been paid. I'm not doing that anymore. Like you have to call it at some point, or people will just keep.
Well, that's also like that's also kind of part of like, I don't want to say aging, but like it's just
it's aging.
It's just like what's the point of like doing something for 18 years if you can't find a way to like pivot in graceful ways?
Right.
You know, like it's supposed to be fun at the end of the day.
That's the thing. That's why Dead
know,
Larry plays like 3 or 4 shows a year, because that's how much we can do before they stop having fun. You know, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, you got lives, you got wives, you got plans, and it's like,
right.
The number one thing is like towards the end of Dead Larry's touring career, we were just, well, I mean, not as much me, but people were just getting miserable, you know, and and it's like, who wants to like book these shows, which is essentially a big party, and then have everyone be upset that they're there? It's like, I'd rather just do fewer shows and be happy about it. So like that was really important to me.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
No, we're a fan. Yeah, you cannot fill a cup that is already full. It's important as a family. Dead Larry's a family. You know what I mean? Like we've been together. We hang out for holidays and birthdays and birds more than shows. So it's like the shows themselves are really important to be fun and good, and for everyone to feel seen, because like we're not trying to make it. We're not trying to, be a international sensation. I mean, maybe in 20 years somebody will use our song in a hit show and we'll top the chart 30 years after our song comes out.
Yeah. But like, what is making it? I mean, like,
I'd say financial stability.
That's
fame isn't real anymore. Everything's so fragmented. If you ask anyone under 30 their favorite band is, it's all going to be different, and I've never heard of it.
And I love that, because fame as a concept is kind of useless.
Oh yeah. Like, why that person? Like, why do they get to say?
Yeah. And also, like, I firmly believe in that Jim Carrey thing. It's just like, I wish everyone could be like rich and famous so they know it doesn't make them happy.
Right.
Because like fame kind of sucks. Like,
and fame and fortune are not the same thing. You can be really famous and super broke. Like
and that's sometimes like even worse, because like people think you have money. It's like that's how people get robbed on the road.
Right. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, you get paid in cash at the end of the bar at 2 a.m. And then you got these people eyeing you. You're like, all right, we're gonna run to the van. We're about to get robbed. Like, I've not gotten robbed, but that's because I'm hyper vigilant. Okay, we only got robbed one time, and that was our fault.
I have been robbed. It's
like with a gun, or just like when you weren't there?
A little bit of column A and B. I'll save that story for a later time.
Sure.
But this song is about to end. We're about to go back on.
What song was it? I don't even know.
Space Monkey Mafia.
Space Monkey Mafia.
Money.
Our flagship.
Yeah, Catbite also. I'm glad y'all brought Catbite. So of course Dead Larry was at the top of that stuff, but Catbite's a Philly band, and that's the area I grew up in.
Oh, really?
So I always like seeing when
we have 2 Philly bands. Actually,
I know. It's just like whoa, where are you getting? So
well, that's where we want to go, kind of like we want to
get more regions to.
We didn't really care exactly which spot, but Joe Barron's from New Hampshire, and Space Monkeys toured out there a couple times, but we really needed to build up connections in Philly. John has been helping with that a lot over the pandemic. We made connections, and then we have our other national act, the Bots, they live in LA. So like we don't have a lot of national acts, but we sure did get them from either side.
Yeah. Oh, what I like when festivals do that.
What's a discovery thing? Like, people may not know who Catbite is or who the Bots are, but lots of people do that aren't here, and they're gonna find out that they are amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't even really know the Bots that well. I was like kind of getting sold by their agent, and then I was like, hold on, let me check it out. I was like, yeah, I absolutely love this. Like, this is just the next evolution from like the Black Keys kind of thing. Like, it's just like
there's
a duo indie, super emotional but silly at the same time. Like, I really, really I'm excited to meet them. They're gonna hang out for 2 days, so I'm excited to like turn them into people in my head.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too. Like, I feel like everything is so chronically online.
Oh yeah.
That there are people like on my friends list that like I feel like I've known for years. I've never actually met.
Oh yeah. That happens all the time. I've been working with, there's a booking agent in Fargo that I've been working with for probably 12 years. And when we actually met like in face to face, I think it was last year, I was like staring at him. He was staring at me. I'm like, have we ever met? Like, because like I didn't recognize him, and he's like, I don't think so. I'm like, that is insane. Like, I can hit you up. Like, I can just text you, be like, hey, you got this day, and he'll give it to me. But it's like I had no idea what it looked like.
I don't know what's more insane, the fact that happened, or the fact that is more common in this business than people realize.
Right.
Where it's just like you can have these weird relationships, especially when you're involved with groups that are either like bi-coastal, or like some people live in different spots. Like,
right,
you're just communicating with this phantom email address.
Right. Oh yeah. It's all
often.
Like, not even a picture, just like text and an email, you know. And
yeah.
It's pretty well, and there aren't that many booking agents in the world, and there aren't that many people throwing events. Like, it seems like it's a big world because the events have a lot of people, but when it comes down to it, like you'll find the same sound engineers all around the region. Like, I'll get to a festival I'd never heard of in the middle of a street in some small town, and like there's Andy running sound. Like, oh hey, like, and then you're comfortable because you actually know everyone that's working. It's weird. It's a tiny world.
I had this weird thing where like I was scheduled on a bunch of festivals that were all different genres, and like Nate was running sound at all of them.
Nate Way?
Nate Way, yeah. I was like,
he's running sound Galactic Get Down too.
Of course, Nate,
Andy Bizick, Nate Way. We got Nick Coleman, our friend Tom. Like, we have a few people. Honestly, we just like pulled together like the best people we knew that also we love the most. Because we don't underpay people, but I also want to make sure that, you know, they care. Because I mean, when a sound engineer cares, when a light designer cares, when a stage manager, and you know, all the way through, when they actually care about the music and have a connection with you, it just goes so much better. You know, they understand, and I can just speak the way I speak and be understood, which is harder than it sounds.
It's way hard. Like, I think part of the reason these things go is like people are just a good hang, and then you can trust the work, because it being understood is crucial, especially because I feel like a lot of people are neurodivergent in this line of work, so it becomes hard to actually like communicate what you're saying or feeling, and there's a part of that. So if you're just tuning in, I'm talking with Smokin Joe, who is a part of the curation and running and well, a little bit of everything of the Galactic Get Down.
Yep.
We also heard Space Monkey Mafia, who is also kind of like the other pillar.
They're our co-host.
Yeah, you know, and if you're not familiar with Space Monkey Mafia, the way I like to describe them is, have you ever seen one of those like 80s ski movies where like a ragtag group of kids has to like band together and save the community center, and then after they do that and like kick the corporate overlords out of town, and like the rich kid boss like is disgraced or whatever, there's like this really great band at a house show where all the main characters are like hanging out and celebrating? Space Monkey Mafia is that band.
That's amazing. That's an amazing description. I always say they're like classically trained savant musicians that decided all to play ska for some reason. Like,
it is crazy, because like there's some killer musicians in that band who play in like 6 or 7 other bands, and it's just they're just in this ska band. They happen to be in this ska band,
and they don't overplay. They don't like show the maximum potential of their talent. Because they're playing ska. Like, I admire them so much. And you know, I'm doing a song with them at the festival, and I just had rehearsal. Nice. Actually, I found out for sure that was happening about half an hour before the rehearsal. But luckily it was my song, so I already knew how to play it.
You're in good hands with those folks.
But I'm just always constantly impressed. The young energy, because they still tour, and Dead Larry's like not doing anyone any favors in terms of promotion. So we're like the old guys, even though we're not old, we've just been doing it a long time. We're like the old guys that are like the nostalgia, and then Space Monkey's like the young kids are like.
I think it's funny because you and I are both in that age where like there's this whole aspect of the industry that still sees us as like the young annoying kids, but there's this whole other aspect of the industry that are like sees us as the old.
There's like 4 bands that call me dad. Like, oh hey dad. Like, oh my god, I am 34. Leave it alone. Like, we're 5 years apart.
This is the millennial experience.
Oh, dude, the millennial's wild.
It's very disorienting. So I'm glad you brought up the bots earlier, because they are in this next set.
Bots.
If you are just tuning in, I am making a mixtape for Smokin Joe, but this is like the Galactic Get Down mixtape. Every band you've heard so far is playing this weekend. So let's keep going here. Here's the Confused here on Desert Islands.
They're confused. They're confused. Yeah, that's Luke Hoffland. You know that guy?
I don't actually.
He runs Curioso Coffee, and he's a big part of Hay Belly. It's like that secret festival where secret socialist festival, which I don't call it that, but like everybody, including the artists and like the organizers, pays $60 to go.
Yeah,
it's like
and then
who you are.
It goes into like curate the food and like all the other stuff, you know. And
although like, as it gets more popular and like over the years, like they have to cap attendance. Like I was talking to Luke, he's like, I mean, the idea is cool, but some of us end up doing a lot more work than other. It's like, so while the pay is socialist, like the actual workload is, you know, still very.
It goes back to like what you said about like this business is like run by the people who can't do anything else.
Yeah. I literally don't know what else I would do. I was thinking about that. Like, what if this fails? Like, what if I have to get a job? Like, what the fuck would I do?
I was thinking, I was like go full Bukowski and work the post office, I guess.
Yeah,
like, where else am I gonna go?
I would just keep trying to do musical things. Like, I mean, like, you know, I got this songwriting gig through songfinch.com, and I'm actually currently trying to finish one.
I have a few buddies who do that, and like I'm always skeptical of those things.
It's good for me because like I have my home studio, and like I can do like a formulaic sort of, you know, like easiest way to put songs together, copy paste kind of thing.
Sure.
But I'm on my 44th. I'm finishing today since February.
Dang.
So
wow. Okay.
So, you know, you get $100 a song, and then you can get tips, or if they have a special request, it costs more. But I try to make sure that like I have this sort of process where it takes hopefully only 4 to 5 hours. So I'm making like $20-25 an hour. I don't like to do more than that.
I think if you get in a good rhythm, because
I'm having fun, and then it's
I'm kind of this way with TikTok, where it's just like at this point, TikTok is like, you have to put in the same amount of work into your TikToks as you do your songs. And I'm just like, why? I should just get better at production.
It's overwhelming. Yeah.
I think the dream is like to get big enough that you can just hire someone else to do your social media.
Right.
And never look at it. Never.
I feel stupid. Like people are like, why don't you TikTok more? I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Just like record myself every time I'm writing a song? That's like many times a week. They're like, yeah. I'm like, but like, it's just me in the same room doing the same thing.
Stand up. You need to have an idea. You need to have a heartfelt bit. You can't just like be like, hey, it's me. Otherwise,
my stand-up career is coming, by the way. I'm writing bits actively with a plan to hit the like stand-up stage by like, you know, by 40.
I think more people should, because people don't realize how good of a stand-up comedy scene there is in the Twin Cities.
I don't want to touch it until I'm ready to go on stage. Like, I don't want to be influenced. I don't want to know anyone. I just want to come in and start like with a bit.
I think that is the only form like harder than.
It's terrifying. I work on my jokes live at shows. But of course, if they don't land, the saving grace is you just play your song and they forget.
Yeah. See, that's like we can like if you have a bit that bombs and then like another one bombs and then like another, it's just like, oh man, like I have so much respect for people who can like get out of that.
If they don't like your comedy, unless you're doing like, you know, observational, like just like objective jokes, like it's not that they don't like your comedy, they don't like you personally. Like, like you're not funny and your life is not entertaining to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm mad. Like
it's rough because like it's like people get mad at comics. People just ignore musicians. Like that's fine.
Especially while they're talking. Well, I got it. We're in the studio right now. I got a new album coming out.
I get pretty weird about stage banter. Like I have a little bit of that Jack White in me, where it's just if it's not authentic, drop it from your act. If it's not like get it out.
I've also played the role of an MC so much, like at events or even just at like promoting stuff that's coming up.
You have
like
that muscle though.
I'm just very much I'm just very much like I MC it. I like try and make people laugh, and I do not swear in my songs at all. But between songs, I will just like just my normal speaking is like full of swearing, and it's never like vulgar or violent or like, you know, mean. It's just like, oh, this fucking guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's
like this shit is awesome. You know, it's like
Trailer Park Boys. It's just like if I can't swear and smoke, I'm fucked.
It's so funny because like, you know, I'm so adamant about keeping my music clean because I want it to be accessible,
Yeah.
And like
I'm the same way. Like I think the aspiration is to be Dolly Parton. Like you want
Paul
everybody
Simon
to
mixed
be invited
together.
to your show. Not you don't want to like exclude people. If your stuff is not for everybody, that's fine. But you want to give everybody the option to like walk in like a sushi restaurant where it's like some people just hate sushi. But like the people who like have never tried it, you want it to be like, well, I'm going to do my best to be like, hey, I hope you like it. I hope you like this, and I think you will. But like, if what you do is not for everybody, it's fine. Like
what I do is not
like,
for everybody.
You gave it an earnestness to it.
I'm one of the least popular bands in my company. 100%. People hit me up about tons of bands, and like very rarely is it me. And I think it's you know, it's a bit frustrating at times just because I do make music and I want to play it for people. But
I think there's something to like you said, when you have a band that doesn't tour anymore, there's something weird about solo acts that I think people just expect the artist to just do all the reaching out.
Right.
Because it's just like it's not a business entity. Like they just see it as just like, oh, Smokin' Joe. Well, I'll just let Joe talk to you.
Right.
You know, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
It's
or
like,
they think of me as
they reach out.
They think of me as an agent. They think of me as a producer. They think of me as a tour manager. They think of me as that or whatever, but they don't think like, maybe I should book him. Like,
It's
he has music. It's weird. I gotta figure out how to fix that.
I've been thinking about it of just like, do you? But also, like, I feel like I would be the worst person to manage because I'm so used to managing myself. I feel like I would never let go, and I would be insufferable, and I would never like people would be like, all right, you need to stop talking to me and let me do work, and I will like
it's either that or they just come on and literally just do all the things you were doing already, and you're like, well, why am I giving you 15%?
Yeah, and then you become that's exactly
you
what
have to hold their hand through it. It's like
and I don't know, but
it's weird.
Also, like there is a weird thing with like solo artists where sometimes people will get you on their roster, but like other agents view solo artists as more of like it's like the thing you slip into the bill, like a pork project, like a dirty congressman, where it's just like, all right, we got the headliner, and then just give an opening slot for this act. You know, it's like that's kind of how they're treated. Of just like, oh, a solo, yeah, okay. All right,
and I've created my solo act at this point to be the sound of a full band. Like I played full tracks with full bass and all these things, and it's like I can play the set of any band, but my music is complicated. Like you have to listen to it a few times.
Artists these days, I think you have to be an act that like you don't have to have like I shouldn't say gimmick, because like let's be real, every artist has a gimmick.
Yeah.
But like the one act that makes more sound than meets the eye, like it's not just a gimmick. It's just what you got to do.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have tracks, you gotta do something, because like I feel like that's where music's going. It's like back to like the idols and like the personalities of just like no one really cares about the band. They care about like maybe like the front and then like a mysterious character who's also in the band.
Right.
So like a solo act kind of has to be like Nine Inch Nails or Saint Vincent.
Right.
It's like
and I do aspire to bring musicians with me eventually, but it comes down to like my friends at this point are so good that I cannot underpay them. I refuse. I'm not going to take their time.
Busy, I feel
but I'm not going to like ask them to give up their weekends to not make money, because like I don't think that's fair. I mean, I know they would if I asked, but like it's just we're too old. Like it's not.
Yeah. Like I am still like, that is the thing about the solo act that does kind of pay off. Like when you play those rough nights where it's like the promoter kind of talked more game than they should have, and it's like each band is getting like $50 at the end of the night. When you're a solo act, it's like, hey, that
100%
$50 is gonna go somewhere. Where like when you're in a band and you're like in Toledo, we've all done it, but it's just rough.
Yeah.
It is a young person's game.
I'll tell you what, if you book, manage, do all your own graphics, do all your own promotion, and play the show all by yourself, you get to keep all the money. That's what I do.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And people are like, wow, you do everything. It's like, yeah, I mean, I have to.
Everyone kind of has to. And it's like, but I wish more people knew that. Because like I think it looks so easy, but it's not.
That's the point. You're supposed to make it look easy. You don't want people to be like, wow, that guy's really stressed out. Like,
yeah. Well, I guess there is like something to be said about like the James Brown, like wiping the flop sweat, where it's like, man, he's working up there.
Working hard and being
look stressed
are different. Like, like, wow, he's really putting a lot of work and energy into this. He cares so much. Not like, wow, he looks mad. Like,
yeah, no, it's like the George Costanza thing, where it's like,
speaking my language,
I look annoyed. Like if you're just up there, like,
right, yeah,
like, yeah, people don't like it.
No, and that's why I had to actually like tell everyone in my team crew after the first few years of Galactic Get Down, I'm like, I can't be an authority figure once I'm on site. Like, I can have like a call to people, but if I see something going on, I'm not going to yell at people because I'm a headlining act. I'm the organizer. Like, I don't want to have that.
Right.
That
and
it's air around me. Like,
it's weird.
I need to have that persona of like, I'm cool, fun guy. You're at my fun festival. Because like my mood transfers very quickly to other people.
Well, there is something about I know like the word vibe gets tossed around, but like
it's just a word now.
Yeah, it's just a word now, but like it is a thing that you are changing the vibration of
no, I'm saying like it's like how I describe a lot of things. Like I used to kind of make fun of it, but now it's like, you know, it is a vibe. It is like, you know, a feeling. It you know, as lame as it is to say that, like, oh, I'm vibing, like you do create it. It's a, you know, the energy around you, which is why like I really am so proud of our attendees every year, because like they go nuts, but like almost all, I mean, it's a public event, people buy tickets, you can't stop them, but it's like they really keep it under control. There's a lot of respect. I feel like they're given respect immediately upon entering the festival. So.
That's part of curating as well. After this cart, we're going to be back on the air. I mean, we're on the internet, but like,
sure,
we're on the radio too.
Whoa, man!
5 seconds.
On the internet and the radio.
So we heard from the bots, and the bots are playing the Galactic Get Down. We also had some Goodbye Mordecai and the Confused in that set. So let's talk about, because at this point, I feel like the window is kind of closing. Are tickets only available at the gate at this point? Is that?
I think here's what happened to me. I stopped the weekend passes on Monday and I made a big to-do about it, not realizing that the day passes were going to be on sale through today. So last night I secretly turned the weekend passes back on, just in case. So yeah, tonight at 11:50 is when everything stops, and then everything increases in price. And before anyone gets all mad at me personally, it's like, that's how you do it. It's an incentive. Otherwise, people just, you know, because people are going to buy a $75 day pass that could have bought an early bird ticket for the whole weekend for $75. So like, if you know, it's like by the time you get to the gate, it's doubled. But
if you know, you know. Well, all festivals literally do.
Right. But we try to make sure we do not price out our community. Like, we do not want to have this large ticket price with these huge acts, because our friends end up not being able to go. You're catering to a different crowd. And I don't really aspire to have a 10,000 person event. I don't know if I could honestly be responsible for more than 1,500. Like that
10,000 is like, it's scary.
Like, I'm too empathic for that. Like, I can't. Like, oh, how did everyone's time go? All 10,000 of them. Like, how?
Please give me feedback.
Yeah,
actually, no, don't. So, before we keep going, so here on Desert Islands, I am making a mixtape for Smokin Joe. This is the Galactic Get Down mixtape. So if you're wondering, if you're just tuning in and you're wondering what festival we are talking about, we're talking about the Galactic Get Down. And here on Desert Islands, I am making a mixtape for artists playing the Galactic Get Down, which is this weekend. So if you If you are, are there events on Thursday, or is that more of like
Thursday? We have a half day Thursday. Music starts at 2:30 and goes till 11, and then we don't have any late night stuff so that people can not go completely insane the first day. Please, everyone. Like, I know you will, but like, just save some for Saturday.
Yeah.
But it's I love doing the Thursday. It's nice. People get settled in, and I think and we have a chance to have one more headliner. And this year we put local. I guess we're from Mankato technically, but Irie Mines is headlining on Thursday, and we really like to put people that have been deserving of a shot or deserving of a space that have been just grinding so hard, like Irie Mines, to like have a good slot at night for everyone. Because like because they're always catering to whatever they can get, sort of like me. And it's like I recognize that over the years. Like, play the big spot. Like, you can't do it every time, because sometimes we're gonna make you play at 2 p.m. on Saturday or whatever. But like,
I think there part of curation too is we were talking about vibe. Like, sometimes the headlining is just quotation marks. Sometimes it's like the mix and the overall flow from like
it's a set list. It's a great big set list.
It's like it's a big giant set list.
Just like a show. It's a big long show, and like your bands are your songs, and you create a whole experience from Thursday to Saturday, and you never get to experience that yourself. But you hear about it later, whether or not it works. Like, you can't see yourself live. It's physically impossible. You cannot watch yourself play while also not playing. So like, you just hope that people got like, okay, from this band to this band, people are going to turn to the next band and then going to be completely shocked by what happens. Like, am I going to be there to see it? Probably not. But
it reminds me of that. There was like a Penn and Teller interview, and Penn was talking about how his favorite directors are the Coen brothers. He was reading this interview with the Coen brothers, and he was all excited to get the insight into the Coen brothers. And they were like, so what's it like on set? And one of the brothers said, like, I guess I imagine it would be like working with Penn and Teller. And like, it just kind of blew his mind, because he can't see his own show.
Right.
And he got like massively depressed, because it's like, but you can't pick me. I need less of me. And just kind of have it like this whole world collapse. Because you're absolutely right. These events are labors of love, and labors of love are still labor by way.
And people are like, oh, have fun. I'm like, I don't know if it'll go well enough or smoothly enough for me to have fun, but I love the work.
I'll have fun when it's done.
I love the work. Fun is not really the point for me. Like, for everyone else, yes, but like, I don't really go and be like, I'm going to make sure that I have a great time. It's like, no, I'm going to make sure I work really hard, and I'll feel good doing that for myself and for my friends and for my community. But like, I don't aspire to get there and like have a blast, man. Like, that's what everybody else is doing. Like,
in the moment you're there to work, but I am
and the clout. I do it for the clout too.
It's all about.
Like, who's that guy? Oh, that's the guy who owns the festival. Like, that guy? Like, yeah, it doesn't seem like you would. And then I talk to like, wow, your voice is lower. Oh, you're shorter than I'm always like surprising people with my existence. I thought you'd be taller. Like, oh God.
Yeah, that's how it's like. Yeah. So this weekend, the Galactic Get Down, and Thursday,
Friday, Saturday. You can come all weekend. You can come for 1 day, 2 days. It's kind of a choose your own adventure festival. There's tubing, water slides. There's a mini golf. There's a swimming pool. It's kid friendly. I always say kid friendly. It's kid friendliest during the day. It's still a party and it gets dark. So like, I'm not saying people are going to like, do anything despicable. It's just like, people get drunk and kids are small. So like, getting walked over, getting lost, it's like, everyone's very respectful, but
at the end of the day,
if it were me, I would, either chill or, take the nights off or leave after music. But that's just me. Like, people do whatever they want. I'm not telling you how to raise your kids, but they're more than welcome. And our organizers have kids, or at least, we're at that age, like everyone.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, if I don't allow kids, like how my friends can't come.
I would be remiss. We've got the who, the why, and the what, but I'm not sure if we mentioned the where on mic. I know off mic, and by the way, you can follow us off mic on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and all that. But I'm not sure if we actually mentioned where the Galactic Get Down is taking place.
I think I said the town, but I don't know if I said it's at River's Edge on the Apple River. So it's okay. It's Apple River is known for its water activities. over in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is sort of like the New Jersey of the Midwest. Like anything goes. The rules are loose in Wisconsin. They locked down for what, 2 days?
I have noticed that.
But River's Edge, it's our first time working with this venue. It's a very prestigious venue. They're really working with us to build something. So it's really cool. It's been a little difficult because I think our personality, you just have to figure out how to talk to these people, and people running a tubing place, this giant piece of land, they're not going to have the same thoughts as a professional musician, so being able to bridge that gap is important. But they're very generous, and they have a lot of activities. There's a lot of there's barely any porta potties because there's so many actual bathrooms. There's showers, running water. Ooh. It's it's very, they've had huge shows. I think the last show they had before lockdown was Jack Johnson, historically, Metallica has played out there. It fits you can get 20,000 people out there. Camp's 5,000. So it's a huge place, but they really want to kind of reinvest in local events and people that are starting to build stuff, which is, I think they don't have to do that. So I'm really
it's a good idea too.
Right.
Well, let's we're not going to have time to play the entire mixtape, but I'm going to share. It's got not all the artists playing this weekend, but a lot of the artists playing this weekend. I want to highlight the next 3 artists. Of course, we got Druzy Rose, but Brandon Pulpus, Black Velvet Punks.
Man, me and Brandon got some hot tracks in the works. We have 3 songs.
Yeah, you two have been collaborating a lot recently.
Yeah, it's him and I when we lost Max Graham, a lot of things changed. It was devastating. He was one of my best friends in the world. We worked intimately together, all the time. And one of his big things as he towards the end of lockdown, in the middle, he really started to change his direction. He was making more hip hop. He was trying to be more, very vocally anti-racist, and very human rights. Yeah. And I just sort of took that part of him and decided I would create a part of that for myself. I didn't want to copy him, but I was I found an artist like Brandon that he loved that I also work well with. And we both wanted to do something in honor of Max. And also just because of that, we believed in the work he was doing. So.
Yeah. Well, let's here is Black Velvet Punks.
Black Velvet Punks, so good.
So, if you're just tuning in, I'm talking with Smokin Joe. We're talking Galactic Get Down here on Desert Islands.
KFAI.
Yeah, it's man. I think it's funny that you mention Wisconsin being the New Jersey of the Midwest. It is. It's because there is something funny about New Jersey, because East Coasters all make fun of New Jersey, but there is this weird thing, when anyone else makes fun of New Jersey, it immediately becomes our kid brother, where it's whoa,
hey,
we can say that about
what are you talking about?
Hey, say that about New Jersey.
You can say that about New Jersey.
What I haven't noticed is all the states in the Midwest kind of equally make fun of Wisconsin like it's New Jersey.
No, dude, Wisconsin is not the one that's made fun of the most. It is Iowa by far. I am from there, and people are mean. It's dude, it's
I don't get it
because place.
I like Iowa, and I think people from Iowa also have a great sense of humor because they've kind of they've kind of heard all the jokes.
Oh, by the time you're 5, you hear it all. You're idiots out wandering around. It's ha 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 ha. But the thing is people are they're always talking jive about Iowa, and then I'll let them finish. I'll be yeah, you know what Iowans say about you? What? I'm well, that Minnesota's a really nice place, and we think it's really great. Yeah, you're mean. We're nice. Minnesota, nice to your face. Y'all are mean. Iowa's such a big fan of Illinois, of Wisconsin. Yeah. All the place. The only thing Iowa makes fun of is Nebraska.
Yeah,
that's
it's
the same state essentially.
Every time I play Iowa, everyone is just super nice, super stoked. But there's also a hint of yeah, we know.
But I'll send bands to Iowa, and they're Iowa.
We're gonna have a good time.
You can't come in with this idea that it's gonna suck. It's it's just.
I like it better than Delaware.
I'm in Delaware, yeah.
Delaware.
I've really never spent any time in Delaware. The East Coast I haven't really been to in a long time.
I feel if Wisconsin is the Jersey, people try to paint Iowa as the Delaware,
right?
Where it's just what even happens there?
There's not even a town there. People go to Des Moines, they're like, a city, wow. It's like, we have cities. It's like when people look at pictures of Africa right now, like, holy shit, they have skyscrapers. Like, yeah, it's on the planet. Like, what do you think? It's just huts everywhere. Like,
it's like I feel like you need to re-examine your own biases.
Yeah, like read a book, dude. Like everywhere else in the world isn't just like piss poor. Like they're living lives, doing their thing, like everywhere. Like, yeah, I mean, in the rural parts of Africa, you still have rural living, but go to Kentucky. Tell me that that's not third world out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
we've got some really. That's the thing I think people don't understand about this country is like I didn't really see what people were talking about. Like when people like try to like the talking heads and all that on the media, like say like, all right, this, and this. It's like the recession. It's just like I didn't really see what a recession does until I started touring the country and going other places. And like there is a real like poverty in this country that like people are not being alarmist about. Like
there's no sense of urgency at all. Yeah. I mean, the unhoused problem, you know what I mean? Like these people, the massive addiction and drug abuse problem, which is like being fueled by many governments around the world. And like,
and also the opioid crisis was like caused by a corporation.
Absolutely. And now like it's made synthetically. The fentanyl that they use is made synthetically, and they have so much of it, they put it in everything, and it's just completely allowed. I mean, it's honestly the Mexican government that's doing it the most, but like, you know, and you have I just listened to a podcast about this, but they have
it's fascinating.
The meth, like the way meth is made, there's like a few different ways. And the way it had been made for the last 30 years, they made one of the main ingredients illegal in China where they used to get it. So they had to go back to like the old like biker way of making meth, which is far more like psychotic inducing. So if you noticed, like, you know, the unhoused population that is prone to addiction, like if they're doing this new or, you know, this other kind of meth compared to the last 30 years, if they seem extra crazy or hoardery, like that's why. Like it's like these chemicals that are like creating this false reality.
Throw in the political climate and the actual climate. Like
don't even get me started on the actual climate.
Yeah.
I'm like the only one that yells about it. Like every day I think about it. I'm so mad. I'm just like looking around like, oh, everything's fine. Everybody doing well. Like what is happening? Like we are so screwed. Like we have no idea. Like we have until the end of this decade to do any sort of damage control. Otherwise, I don't think people understand how devastating and how much the society that we enjoy right now is going to collapse.
The thing that worries me is like there are people making the effort, but the only way it's going to change is if it's like the head honchos
absolutely
like actually change.
Well, it's like
they don't want to change, and that's
just like the plastic people being like, well, you better recycle. It's like, well, why don't you just quit making plastic?
Yeah, why don't you change?
It's not on us. You make millions of bottles a day. It's like it's not up to us to throw them away, right? Like, how about you stop it? Like,
it's like let them drive electric cars.
They genuinely believe they are genetically superior and deserve the wealth. That's the thing. It's a sickness. Like
they're all dragons from Lord of the Rings.
Smaug.
Where it's just like it's just like give
Benedict
me
Cumberbatch
the money and I will create jobs by sitting on the money.
Right. Yeah, we're important because we've always had money
for the visual too. So I'm just literally going to sit on a pile of money. I'm going to make angels with it.
And now it's just numbers on a screen. It's just gambling. They're just like watching whose number can get the biggest. There's not even a pile anymore because the money, as you'll hear Dante from Space Monkey Mafia say all the time, is fake. It's not real. Yeah. It's a concept we've created because we just keep credit, money, like all this. Yeah. It's just wild.
It's not. This is why I start every show just playing that Bill Hicks bit. It's like I don't like to do stage banter, but I do kind of like to have like, look, I'm not going to go on stage talking about this, but I'm going to set the tone and just be like, hey, the underlying thing of all this is kind of here.
Right.
I'm not gonna like preach and get on my soapbox, but like here we go, and there it is.
You can hear in my songwriting, me getting more and more panicked. Like the Place with No Walls is me being like, hey everybody, things are going wrong. Take care of the earth, please. Thank you. And now I'm just like, oh my God, our kids are so fucked. Like, it's just like, it's sorry, I'm swearing, but
I don't know what to do, because
we are taking away all the things we enjoy about the earth. The humans get to enjoy before
now they
anyone
want to
else
charge for water. That's the scariest thing. The Nestle guy does not believe water is a human right. Like, he's just like,
California is about to have a 25% decrease demand of water. Like, they're telling everyone to use could you imagine cutting your water by a quarter as a person?
Especially in LA, it's impossible.
Just
LA is its own city state at this
I have a good idea. How about we get rid of the lawns and all the golf courses?
Why do we need why do you need why do we need that for golf?
It's social. It's a social thing. It's to prove that you're better than other people. Like, that's it.
It's
like,
not even
a lawn is not a good thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing beneficial except to maybe that species of grass, maybe. But like, other than that, like, it ruins it's terrible. I hate lawn culture. But no one that has a lawn cares when I say that. So.
No. Well, also, like, a lot of cities, like,
they
run like a homeowners association where they will bully citizens for not taking care of their lawn.
I've gotten bullied before. I've been told by the city a few times in different places I've lived throughout my life, like, you're gonna get fined if you don't clean up your yard. I'm like, what do you mean, the plants that grow out of the ground? Yeah. Like, do I have to make them smaller for you? Why? You're not walking here. Like, what?
I admire people who just completely do raised beds and be like, this whole thing is going to return to like the.
If I were
that's a lot of work. It's a lot. Like, it looks cute and like all HGTV, but like, it's a lot of work getting that up and running.
Right.
Like,
and I just feel like you should create your lawn or the environment outside your house match the environment that you are living in. If you're in California, you should have cacti and sand and
like let
lizards and stuff
naturally there, just like hang out.
Kentucky bluegrass doesn't really vibe out there, like it's.
And but I want it.
Yeah, just like people really want almonds, despite the fact that we know the almonds cost
so much. Like, so much water goes into one almond.
And meat, raising meat in general. Like,
do you think
everyone in the world wants to eat meat every day? It's like
not to go completely off it. Do you think the lab grown meat is going to take off?
I know that it should.
I've had it. I think it's fine.
The Beyond. I was talking about like the Beyond and Impossible stuff. Or
no,
farther than that.
So is that actually I thought that was like non-meat. I mean, like,
well, it's non-meat, but it's so close. But you're talking about like where they have the cells of actual meat and then create the meat without creating the animal.
Yes,
I think that's awesome, but it's also like a classic sci-fi trope of things going terribly wrong.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
It's I'm a sci-fi guy. We can go all day.
So here is the thing here. We got about 30 seconds, and Democracy Now! Is the program leading up to here.
Nice.
So
democracy is important.
Yeah, we're probably just gonna have to do the station ID here, and then sign off on the.
That's okay. If you believe it, I have a lot of things I have to do.
I'm surprised you lasted this long, because it's like you got places to be.
Right, but this is important to me. Like, like when someone actually wants to talk to me on the radio about my music and what I'm doing, like, it's like, I could go, point and like try and do stuff, but like they're gonna be okay without me, and like I just
I appreciate you being able to come on the show, because I know how pretty much it's just kind of, it never stops.
Right. But I spent months and months. I've been working on this pretty much every day for 6, 7, 8 months, and just so that like when it's happening, be like, well, I got us ready. Everyone, all you have to do is execute. If you have any questions, let me know. But like I've done my part. I don't feel guilty. The only reason I would want to get there and get to work is because I don't want anything to go wrong, but I don't feel like I need to like prove myself that I have like.
No. And a lot of these things are kind of like gravity. Like, it just needs a little push.
The delegation has
it's
already
on top of the thing. It's on top of the ramp, and you just need it to.
And I gotta trust my team to do their jobs.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why
it's hard for me. as a type A.
Amy Goodman's on now, so we can't go back on the. So let's do a quick wrap up because we still have some people watching in the chat. So
Hi, people in the chat.
Still talking with Smokin Joe. Thank you for coming on Desert Island.
Dude,
again.
Thanks for having me.
Anything you want the listeners to know about before we sign off here?
Just check us out. Even if you can't come to the festival, I really just encourage you to check out these artists. We painstakingly have found artists that we truly believe in. There's no gimmick other than like the obvious space shtick.
Sure.
But check it out, galacticgetdown.com. You can have the links to all the artists, and if you like what we do, the Get Down Enterprises brand, which is my business, we're really trying to just like carve out our own little niche. So if you dig it, we would love to have you as part of the community. It's not that big, so like you can be somebody, I promise.
Yeah. Well, if folks like what they heard as far as your own music, because I know but you are also playing in this.
I have three bands playing. I got Allure, Smokin Joe, and Dead Larry.
If folks like what they heard, where can they hear it again?
You can go for my music, you can go to smokinjoeonline.com. You can also order a song for your cat if you want.
Nice.
I have a whole album of pet songs. Anyway, and then Dead Larry, we have let our website lapse because we're very inactive. But you can find us on Instagram, Dead Larry. You can find us on Facebook, Dead Larry. And then Allure, which is probably one of the most exciting things coming up. We have a new album coming out, going to do some touring. Elizabeth is really trying to get a break. So I'm very encouraged with that. And that's alluremusic.com. Yeah. Well, her and I connect as underdogs. We've been working so hard and everyone just very easily dismissed. So it's
I know how that feels.
I know you do. I know you do. There's a lot of us out there just looking around okay, I guess doing it a lot and really well is not.
I think you're doing it the right way of just
sustainable.
Kind of going you know what? We're just going to go over here and do our own thing. You're invited. We're not excluding you, but clearly you got this going on over here, and that's fine.
It's going to take decades, but eventually the community and the scene that is now kind of budding will be a thing people know about. It's will it be my band? I don't know, whatever, but it's this nerd
this is
rock.
What I was talking about with the 5 years thing, where it's just most festivals don't get to the delegation stage.
Right.
Most festivals are just the one person and it dies with them. And you finally got to the point where there's
I like to think so.
Delegate stuff,
we'll see.
It's well, I know it's a lot of work, but it's just literally It most people don't get this far, and you're so close to it, so you're just but no, it's really hard to keep a festival this long. And you're on, you survived a pandemic.
Oh man, did we ever? Yeah.
You're still throwing
it. I mean, without the delegation, without everybody doing their jobs, there's no way it would happen. There's no way I could do any of this by myself. Absolutely not. I'm so grateful for my whole team.
Yeah. And if you don't have your own team, you need to be plugged into other people's teams. And
sometimes you get screwed over by taking risks on people, but that's the price you pay for building a good team. It's all you can do is be well, that didn't work. Let's not do that again.
That didn't pan out.
But sometimes, but you just got to let people show you what they can do. And then it's just any other business. Sometimes they don't put the cover sheets on their TPS reports and you got to.
Well, I'm going to let you go because I know you got a lot going on. Thank you so much for doing this.
If you want to come out, you let me know.
I would love to, but I am moving and I do have to work the Palace this weekend.
Well, if anything changes, I don't, no pressure, no expectations or judgment. But if
I do have friends going, my roommates are going. They were actually packing up.
That's actually kind of a good reason not to go. All my roommates are going to be gone. I'm going to stay.
Well, for me, it's the house is empty now. We can just pack. With reckless abandon, we don't.
You don't want to go to a festival.
It's just gonna be all right, let's get it all. Let's just go. Let's get it all.
You get to a festival and in your mind, I have to move.
Right. Yeah.
No,
and I think I'm just in the point where it's I just want it to be done.
For sure. Well, now that things are sort of normal, I'll we'll try and get something together. We'll do an event or something.
Yeah, we'll try to do something. Yeah. Well,
I do love your actual music.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
As a host and a pillar of the scene, people, oh yeah, you make music?
No, I know how that feels where it's just like, oh, I didn't know you were like, it's when I go on the road, people are like, oh, I didn't know you had a radio show. But like in town, they're like, oh, I didn't know you played.
Right.
Like, why do you think they gave me a radio show?
Yeah, more artists should promote other artists, and they don't. Like, so the people that do, the artists that do like support the community and talk about other bands other than their own, like, I appreciate it very much.
Likewise, I appreciate what you do. And yeah, let's definitely talk.
We'll do more. Do more stuff.
Try to have fun.
I hope I get to the point of being comfortable enough to have fun, but I'm going to work hard and it's going to be great.
Heck yeah. Well,
thanks for having me, Doc. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you